Hello, everybody, and welcome to the first episode of the Renegade Marquee. This is the rebranding of the Renegade Home Theater. This is our movie podcast where we talk about all things movies and we just talk about, like, basically whatever films we love and whatever's new and cool and interesting. So, with me tonight is Jacob.
What is up, everybody?
So, it's just the two-man crew tonight. We're going to go ahead and talk about Without Remorse, the latest Tom Clancy adaptation. This one is starring Michael B. Jordan as John Kelly. I have kind of mixed feelings on this movie. Jacob, what did you think about it? First of all,
It was
let's give it a little synopsis first, and then we'll talk about what we thought.
okay. An elite Navy SEAL, Michael B. Jordan, uncovers an international conspiracy while seeking justice for the murder of his pregnant wife.
It's the origin story of action hero John Clark. So he's the,
One of
I
the most
think,
popular characters in author Tom Clancy's Jack Ryan universe.
Yep, maybe second most popular, I would say, behind Jack Ryan himself.
Yeah, that sounds about right.
Yeah.
Like as the character of John, who would later to be known as John Clark, was featured in Clear and Present Danger, played by Willem Dafoe, and The Sum of All Fears, played by Liev Schreiber.
Interesting. Very interesting. Yeah, it's actually got a pretty good cast here. We got Michael B. Jordan in the lead role. We have Jamie Bell playing Robert Ritter, who's a CIA agent. Guy Pearce is Secretary Clay. He's a government official. We have Jodie Turner-Smith as Karen Greer, who is, I think, she's actually John Kelly's commanding officer in the field.
Yeah, she's like an admiral.
Very cool. Very cool.
Yeah.
Lauren London as Pam Kelly, who is John Kelly's wife, pregnant wife. And yeah, I mean it's a decent cast. Everybody did their job really well. Interestingly, co-written by Taylor Sheridan, who's a writer that I'm actually quite familiar with. I like his work. He did Sicario. He wrote Sicario 1 and 2.
Really?
And yep. And he also wrote Wind River with Scarlet Witch and Hawkeye. I'm blanking on their names right now.
Oh.
But I'm 40 years old, so blanking on names all of a sudden. Yeah. But anyway, yeah, Taylor Sheridan, Hell or High Water, also that was his. So yeah, he's a really good writer. This one I would rank on the lower tier of his work because his other work is just so good. The co-writer for this was Will Staples, who is a primarily video game writer.
That makes sense.
He wrote Lair, which was not a well-received title for the PS3 when it first came out. He also wrote Need for Speed Rivals, and he also wrote Call of Duty Modern Warfare 3, which is, in my opinion, the worst of the Modern Warfare games.
Wow, what a stellar track record he has there.
He's written other things as well, but yeah, primarily video game writer. Anyway, yeah, I'm sorry, Jacob. I kind of derailed it, but like, what did you think of the movie overall? Let's go into our opinions here.
It was okay. It was very blah to me. It was a Tom Clancy, like it kind of felt like it, but in a way it also didn't. Like it felt, if that makes any sense at all.
It does. I think that for me, I was like, okay, I kind of like what they're doing here. I don't mind the slower pace at the beginning. I think that, it's an interesting sort of, it's your kind of typical revenge setup, but it's also interesting enough to the point where I was like, okay, I think we can give this a shot and see, what we think about it. By the end of the movie, I was not impressed. It was just so, like, I don't even know. It was so dour for me. Like, that was the thing. I just thought it was just so, like, not interesting, like, for a mystery thriller and a Tom Clancy techno thriller, you would think there'd be more technology in there or something. There was zero. It was just straight ahead, like, everybody's just got their like angry face on, and it just
well, one thing that kind of ruined it for me was that the conflict, like when they revealed the specifics of why Kelly's wife was killed, it just it just wasn't nearly as intelligent as I think a Tom Clancy adaptation really should be, especially
Oh,
like when you compare it to Clear and Present Danger and Hunt for Red October, especially.
this movie thinks its audience is stupid
Yeah, like
because they put it in blindingly flashing lights that you know who the bad guy is.
yeah,
By like even at the end of like the first act, you can already tell. As soon as he appears on screen, you can tell already who this is, who this guy is. I
yeah,
won't say who, but um the interesting thing is, do you remember the Fat Four Stick movie?
yeah. Why?
Because Michael B. Jordan was Human Torch in that. He was Johnny Storm.
Uh
And
huh.
Jamie Bell
Oh
was the
crap!
Thing.
I should have known that.
This was a Fat Four Stick reunion, a stealth Fat Four Stick reunion. My God. I never thought I'd see the day. But anyway. Well, you know what though? I have to say, like Michael B. Jordan has really impressed me.
Oh
Even
yeah,
in that movie, like he was good in that movie too, even though that movie was a giant pile of crap. But like he is such a great actor. Like he has such great screen presence and he has such
absolutely.
charm. And I was a little bit taken aback that he wasn't able to really utilize that in this film.
Hmm.
To me, anyway, I thought that like he should have. How do I put this? Like, I know he's supposed to be going through like an emotional ringer here, and I know that everything is like really, crappy and stuff like that. Like, this is not a happy action thriller. You know what I mean?
Well, like
Like
what would happy action thriller even look like?
Commando,
Oh yeah.
Lethal Weapon, maybe. No, even that had a dark side.
Mm.
I don't know. I would say Commando. It's one of my favorite movies. I'm going to talk about that later. Anyway, but yeah, I mean, he's a really good actor, like a really solid actor. I thought for
Absolutely.
for me, personally, I thought like there were some moments in here that were a little bit too far fetched, maybe,
Mm, yeah.
but it's okay. That was minor, compared to like the just how contrived everything was. It was just so like, if you've seen a Tom Clancy thriller, you can see the twists, the so-called twists coming a mile away. You can see like who the real bad guy is a mile away, just by
Yeah.
virtue of the fact of who's acting in the role, and just by virtue of the fact that it's a Tom Clancy thriller, and how
That there's conspiracy
we all
involved.
know how the government is in Tom Clancy movies.
Right.
So yeah, I mean, but I will say though that of course, the performances across the board are good. They did the best that they could with the material that they had. I think Jamie Bell has really impressed me lately. Like I was not a huge fan of his before, but in this movie I really like him. I think he was really good. Um
Hides his accent well.
really, really well. Yeah. Did a good job. And of course Guy Pearce, I, everybody loves Guy Pearce.
Mm.
But yeah, for me it was just like, oh my god. I was so like, okay. So by the end of this movie, I'm like, yeah, all right. So he goes off and does his thing. And um when they did that mid-credit stinger, that mid-credit scene, I was like, oh my god, they're franchising this.
Yeah, not a good plan.
Ah,
you know, it depends though on how well this does on Amazon Prime.
yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
they're franchising it.
Yeah, it's like let's hope they find some way if they do go forward with this. They actually have some way to distinguish it from the previous Jack Ryan movies.
It's the Clancy Cinematic Universe.
No, not is this supposed to be a spin-off of Shadow Circuit, or that's what it's called, right? Shadow Circuit.
Uh, mm,
Yeah, Shadow Recruit. Sorry, Shadow Recruit.
yeah, 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 yeah.
Or maybe this is a spin-off of the John Krasinski Amazon show.
I don't think it's meant to be, but I think it's like, well, basically, okay, if anybody cares, here's here's your official spoiler warning, okay? Spoilers. It's coming 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Okay, here comes the spoilers. So basically, this is a Rainbow Six prequel. This is like a rainbow, like the team is known as Rainbow. They're a multinational anti-terrorism unit, and John Clark is the head of it. And because John Kelly basically fakes his death, becomes John Clark. And 1 year later, goes back to Jamie Bell's character, goes back to Ritter and says, "Congratulations on becoming the director of the CIA." And he's like, "Sure." And then he says, "Okay, so I'm going to head up a multinational anti-terrorism unit, and we're going to call ourselves Rainbow." So it's basically like, if you guys are familiar with that, you know, as in the other movies and also in video games, Rainbow Six. And the funny thing is, um, I watched an interview on Fallon, on Jimmy Fallon, that Michael B. Jordan gave, and he actually mentioned Rainbow Six, the game. And he said, as a
Oh.
huge gamer, he said, "Yeah, we definitely we wanted to pay homage to Rainbow Six, and of course, it is, it's part of the film." So I don't know how I feel about that really, but I guess okay. But to me, it just felt like, it felt like to me, like, as somebody who has watched like Patriot Games, and as somebody who's watched Clear and Present Danger, and and saw the first season of the Jack Ryan show. I mean, it just, and also Shadow Games. Yeah, that movie that we prefer not to talk about. Um, Shadow Recruit. That it just seems like, I don't really know at this point. I don't know if I care. Do you care?
Nope.
Is this going to be any different? Like, if they do franchises, is it going to be any different from is it going to be any better than this movie? And is it going to be any different from the Jack Ryan series? Because they're both
Well, if it's any,
updating the
they're
crime
gonna
scene.
have to need some serious reworking. If they help, if there's any hope for this franchise turn out good, honestly.
I like the fact that Michael B. Jordan was the lead, and I like the fact that Jodie Turner Smith was kind of the co-lead in terms of the action sequences and stuff like
Yep.
that. Like, I liked her, that scene where she goes and takes out the sniper.
Yeah.
I thought that was well done. Um, and I was like, holy crap, she's gonna get, like, there's certain parts of the action in this movie where I was like, okay, this is actually pretty well done. Um, but there wasn't enough of it.
Yeah. Like the part where they're in Russia, like, and he's
Yeah.
trying to clear a path for them, like when they're being
Yes.
shot out
Yes.
by I think the Russian police, maybe, was it?
Yep.
Okay.
Yep.
And yeah, that was done. And he just lands, he just rolls onto the window and he just falls through. And yeah. And
Mhm.
he comes out dressed in the body gear of a police officer. And
Yeah. Yeah, because he actually took out the guy in the stairwell.
yeah.
Yeah, they did
Um
have the stairway fight sequence, which now everybody has to have ever since like Atomic Blonde and since the Daredevil hallway fight,
yeah.
the Punisher prison fight in Daredevil season 2. I just
So
I
should
feel
we go ahead?
I was gonna say, I feel like TV is handling things a lot better than movies nowadays. I don't know why.
Mm, yeah.
I
Maybe it's
I
because they give these characters room to breathe, probably.
and I think that, like, I think it's got to be tough for like a streamer, for like Netflix or Amazon or Hulu, to make like an action movie for some reason. I don't know. Do you get that sense? Like, for some
Um,
reason it just seems like tough. Like, maybe it's budgetary.
Maybe, or maybe it's just like an action scene isn't gonna look as cool,
Yeah, it
like
could be
on
that.
TV, like that budget at least, because like won't look as impressive on TV as it would in a cinema, maybe.
There was one scene that looked a little wonky to me, which is that scene, which is otherwise a really good scene, where he kind of like opens the car door, the car that's on fire, and he kind of gets
Yeah,
in the
that was
car.
nice.
But there's this one moment where he's like supposed to be like, he's supposed to like hit the guy from behind, or like push his face into like the glass or some of the window or something. And that, for some reason, to me, it's just the camera angle, or it just didn't look good. That that
Mm.
that move that he did, like, it looked completely fake to me. So I don't know. Maybe I expected too much. I saw this trailer and I thought the trailer made it look really like interesting and badass and like super, like, like he was gonna just climb up that ladder, like he was gonna take guys out and just climb up the ladder till he got to like the main, whoever the main villain was. And then you watch this movie and it's like, not really. That's not really what happens. He just kind of, he gets pointed in the direction of this one guy who points him in the direction of this other guy, and then that's about it. And then they have to take out some snipers and
Yeah.
they're done.
Should we talk about the kind of intrigue, the kind of conspiracy that goes on, like how the character who's pulling the strings and all this
Did
and why
did
he's doing
you
so?
yeah, what did you think of it? Did you feel like it was convoluted or did you feel like it was well explained?
It was just lame. It was just so underdeveloped too.
Yeah.
So it turns out that there were these other seals who were being gunned down by supposedly quote unquote these Russians, um and so these Russian FSBs, um operatives, and and John Wick just John Kelly, he just happens to be one of these. So they kill his pregnant wife, which kind of leads to this really awkward scene where John, he's in ICU. Okay, he's in ICU, and he's in a coma, and he's imagining his wife. They're in the dream, they're making out in this forest, and then she just gets dragged away from him, screaming. That was really just heavy
I
handed,
think they
don't you
were
think?
trying to be like, like it was like a drag me to hell moment. Like it was like a horror movie sort of weird.
Yeah. um.
It didn't work that well
Yeah.
though.
So yeah, it turns out that that one of the men that was in his house who made it out, because he managed to kill them, but most of them, was Victor Rykov.
Mhm.
Um,
Mhm.
like he was set up as this, as yeah, like all of them, they were supposed to be like these Russian FSB guys.
Mhm.
It turned out that when they go over to Russia, John Kelly and this team, like this covert team, he finds out he was actually set up by the CIA, and that he was just playing a part, that he was recruited by them. Um, that
That
he was a deep
scene,
covert. Yeah, it was a deep cover CIA asset.
that scene where he finds Rykov and Rykov already knows that he's coming.
Hmm.
And it's supposed to be this really menacing scene where Rykov is like, I already knew it was you, but he says it so like regular,
Mm.
like normal voice, like no weird nothing. It was just like, he doesn't even put that much effort into it. He's just like, yeah, John, I knew it was you. And he's like,
Shouldn't John gonna be
we're all
suspicious though
patriots.
when Rykov claims to be actually be CIA?
Yeah, like he's
So,
not.
like he's just about to kill this guy. When we believe killed his wife and unborn child, and instead it's like, whoa, you don't have to do this. Okay, come on, it's
Yeah,
cool. Like that
yeah.
just can't. That was just too rushed for me.
It was strange, very strange. It was
Yeah,
a weirdly put together film. Like it was
yeah.
weirdly like structured.
And then he approaches Secretary of Defense Thomas Clay, played by Guy Pearce. Okay, they're in the car, and Guy Pearce, he talks about how he wanted to start a war with Russia in the USA, is because, like he said, in World War II,
because
that was what gave him and the Russians USA and the Russians meaning or
because it
something.
will
And he talks
provide
about,
economic security.
yeah, he talks about, we have to make them feel threatened, that their rights and freedoms were threatened, all the things that you take for granted. And it just feels like he's pulling all this out of his ass. It really
It really
does.
does.
Like
Yeah,
it's
it
just
didn't.
so underdeveloped. Like, when did all this talk even come from?
Well, because usually in Tom Clancy movies, there's more than just one government official who's evil. It
Right.
like goes all the way up to the president. You like in Clear Present Danger, it went all the way up to the president.
Yeah.
Like everybody was corrupt, and they all sent him on a wild goose chase, which is essentially what they do with him with John Kelly slash
One thing
Carl
that didn't
Clark.
really do this though was Patriot games. I think it kind of suffered from that. Like, it wasn't really about corruption per se.
No, not really, not really. I'm thinking more
It was
Clear and
very,
Present
the
Danger.
stakes were very personal in that movie.
Yeah, that one was more like yeah,
Kind of a straightforward protective dad movie.
evil Sean Bean.
Yeah. But yeah, this movie, it just didn't have the intelligence that a Tom Clancy movie needs. And this is coming from someone who's only seen like the first 3 Jack Ryan movies.
I love Taylor Sheridan as a writer. I really do. But like I said, this is I don't really blame him for this. I blame like a guy who actually wrote 3 video games and they were all not so good.
Why was the do you know why when John Kelly, when he was in prison, like why all those guards ganged up on him and
I
like
don't
he
know.
and then it's like he for some reason like he's splashing water on his face like from the sink
He's
and
trying to make himself less like they can't grip onto him. That's what it was. He was
okay
trying to like
that's okay.
he's just so badass though that he just, he just totally took out all these dudes with riot fucking shields and like with like body armor. He's just so badass that he can just take them all out with like punches to the gut.
Um what about earlier when like he acts like he's drunk so he can like
Mhm.
I don't know, he tries to get information
I thought he was
because
yeah, I thought he was gonna infiltrate the place, like the
yeah,
embassy
because
or
Jodie
whatever.
Turner Smith, she gives him this photo of this guy who knows the Russian. Who was the guy that it was in the photo? What was it?
He was the oh god, what was he? He was like the attaché or something. Um,
This movie was just so unmemorable. That was it's so impressive. I can't even remember
I
who's
can't
who.
remember him honestly.
Like it's like that was kind of cool. That was
It was sort of like it seemed like
like
a setup for something.
but
Like
it
I
just
thought he
seemed
was
kind
gonna
of cheap where you show him before like he's going through this grieving phase
yeah.
and then later we just see that it was just kind of then it just becomes a part of his plot because you think that he's drinking to drown his sorrows and then later it turns out it
And
was
all of a
just a
sudden
ruse.
he
It
gets
just
an
kind of took
idea.
away the impact that scene could have had.
Yeah, yeah, because he got the idea of okay, let me splash all the alcohol on me so that I can like, just go and mess around with these guards or something. Like I thought he was gonna like punch him out and like go and try and infiltrate the embassy or something. Albeit it does lead to that cool moment of like the car on fire and him getting in it and all that stuff.
Yeah.
I mean that
Well,
was neat, but it was just weird the way that we got there.
yeah, how about the plane scene?
I liked the plane scene. I thought that was cool. I thought that was
Yeah.
pretty well done.
I like it when it was just kind of skipping on the water. That I haven't
Yeah.
really seen that in a movie.
Yeah.
And later we see like it's split in half, and the second
Yep.
half it sinks down to the ocean, and
And he goes and tries to get the gear and all that.
yeah, and he's using those
It's a
rubber
little too
rafts.
long. Little too long that sequence.
Yeah, and then later, like when they're gathered in that shed, and he talks about how those Ritter, he must have set us up. He must have made that plane explode somehow, or
Mm-hmm.
like that doesn't really go nowhere. That sense of mistrust, just
Yeah. They're just like all cool with each other all of a sudden.
right.
Uh,
Um,
I was not a huge fan of this movie. I
that
wish I
sucks
could say
because
I
you were just talking
was.
about how
I
you
was
don't get to
really
talk about.
looking forward to it.
Yeah, that sucks. You were talking about how you don't get to talk about action movies on this podcast that often.
I know.
It
And
should. Let's hope there's a really good one around the corner. I really hope there is.
I don't know, because Hollywood, I feel like Hollywood just doesn't make like hardcore action movies anymore, frankly. They don't have the guts for it anymore. And I think that like it's kind of gone out of style too. But it's morphed into comic book movies basically. Comic book movies are now the action movies that we have.
Yeah, they're like the modern day westerns, basically.
But
Where
they're also very PG-13 and very sanitized and very like,
isn't
it's
this rated R though?
I don't know if it was honestly.
I
I
don't
think
remember too many f bombs in this one.
it was rated R for violence mainly,
Uh,
but not very good. Not very good.
hmm. There,
They had my
there's
dude
stuff.
Coleman Domingo in there in like a cameo role, and he doesn't do anything apart from be like the family friend, and then all of a sudden he's a minister at the end who's like officiating the funeral for John Kelly.
Mm.
By the way, how many more protagonists are we gonna have in action movies that are named John?
Bizarrely, I have
because
not noticed that.
I am tired of it. In Commando, it was John Matrix, which is best name ever. No, I'm kidding. But like, who who has the of what of the Boulder, Colorado matrices? Is that like his family name? Matrix? I don't know. Anyway,
I did back to the espionage, back to the
yeah.
like the international conflict thing. There
Mm,
were hints of that when they were in Aleppo.
yeah.
And it turned like they were told like this one soldier he was being held hostage by these Syrians, and it turned out that they were Russians. And there was some material there to dive deeper into
You
the
could have
relationship
done
between
something with that.
Russia and Syria, and it just didn't.
Nope. Nope.
Like, I don't know, maybe and maybe they could actually brought in some of these Syrian rebels. Maybe they could help out, and or they can help out, and the
Mm.
mission somehow, the main mission. I don't know. I mean, there was potential. Like, it was clearly like this novel was obviously made several decades ago, and they've had to make some updates to it. Like, I don't see why they couldn't add some of that there.
That was interesting though. Yeah, that they said it in Aleppo. I thought like, oh, okay, this is kind of
Yeah, you had some
a unique
relevancy. And
idea.
what,
Yeah.
like, what was that later? When the guy appears, he's at this bar and he's watching the news, and this lady said that, oh, conflicts between the conflict between America and Russian is the worst it's been since the Cold War. And I was like, really?
Really?
Like that? Like, this is what's bringing them to its knees? Like not the possible government like election fraud that happened. Like, it's
Also, the actors who played the news reporters in this, awful. They were so laughably bad.
well, how like what could have how could have news report, like, you're not supposed to emote when you're given the news
Yeah,
though.
you're not supposed to editorialize when you're a newscast straight up newscaster. If unless you're like a pundit or something, then you can do that. But it's like, of course, don't tell this to Fox News because they do it all the time. But I mean, you're not supposed to editorialize when you give hard news. You're supposed to just talk about the news, unless she's a commentator, in which case. But it didn't seem like she was doing a show where she was like doing that. But everybody on these newscasts was horrible. I'm sorry. It was just terrible. It's like the
I've never
worst.
That's an interesting complaint. I've never heard that in a movie before.
No, because like before when they used to do these action thrillers and stuff, like they would hire actual newscasters from like CNN to read the news. And then the studios were like, no, we don't want to do that because probably contract stuff or negotiations or what have you. But then like the newscasters that they get in movies are so bad
uh,
because they don't know how to read the news like a newscaster would.
right.
So, but yeah, I it takes me right out of the movie, just takes me out of it. When I have to listen to somebody read like negotiations and tensions between Russia and America are at their lowest point since the Cold War.
Yeah.
I just like, dude, just get an acting class.
Yeah.
God's sake. Anyway, this movie made me grumpy. It really did.
That's too bad, buddy.
I was like,
It didn't make
man,
me grumpy. I was just nah. That was. I don't tend to get grumpy unless I see a really bad movie.
I was like, dude, I wanted to watch Atomic Blonde after this. I mean,
I
seriously.
still gotta check that out.
Yeah.
Yeah,
It was
I
a rough time.
wish I went to movies more regularly back then than I kind of do. Well, not now because of the pandemic, but now that I have like this not job, but you know what? Like, and I'm watching movies on a more frequent basis. I wish I was able to do that as much back then as I am now. That I would totally, I think, have enjoyed Atomic Blonde.
I think like one day what we should do if we want to talk about action movies or like, movies that have a lot of cool stuff in them, we should talk about the John Wick films
Yeah,
because
definitely.
yeah, I mean those are worth watching. But yeah, I mean kind of now to talk about favorite action thrillers and action flicks and stuff like that. First of all, if you guys want to watch a Tom Clancy adaptation, just go ahead and watch Patriot Games and Clear and Present Danger because they're way better. And also Hunt for Red October. I mean, just
I'd argue that might actually be the best of them.
yeah, exactly. I mean, but those are far better films. Much more interesting, much more developed, and better acting because they have more material to work off of. Really, I mean, the actors were not at fault for this one. I think they did the best job that they could.
Mm.
Um, but I've been so disappointed with movies lately. Like even Mortal Kombat was not really like I wish it was better than it was. I
Me too.
really I did not
I,
love
I,
it.
I didn't even play any of the Mortal Kombat games, and even I was just like, eh.
Yeah, I don't want to beat the dead horse there, but I mean, like what they should have done was just kept the story focused on Scorpion or Liu Kang or somebody that was actually cool. Because I really want this Cole guy to just get killed off very early in Mortal Kombat 2.
Mm.
But yeah, it it just seems like a lot of the movies, like even Godzilla versus Kong, like I didn't love it, like a lot of people did. I just thought it was like okay.
I liked it a lot,
I think
personally.
Kong Skull Island is the best movie out of all of them, out of all
Mm.
those monster movies, MonsterVerse movies.
Uh, Kong Skull Island and Godzilla versus Kong are my two favorites.
Hmm.
I really wasn't crazy about the Godzilla ones in that
Yeah,
franchise.
yeah, really not the best. Um, I found out that I am a huge Godzilla, like I'm totally on Godzilla's side because every time King Kong was like winning the fight, I would be like, "Oh my god, get out of here!" No,
Really, I love Kong.
I am much more of a Godzilla. Well, I mean, in the fight, yes, but like, yeah, but I don't really know how they did. Like I guess Kong is the ultimate winner because he
Yeah.
kind of took out Mechagodzilla. Which jobbing out Godzilla to Mecha Godzilla and then just so that Kong can have the final victory to me was stupid. But anyway, they never get it right. Anywho, um, I think yeah, without remorse for me.
Well, can we just say it's kind of weird how the full title of this movie is Tom Clancy's Without Remorse, because it's kind of like it sounds like it's saying Tom Clancy is without
He
remorse.
has no remorse. Well, yes,
Well, they probably
uh,
would have remorse if he lived enough to see this movie.
man, yeah, this was no good to me. Um,
Yeah. You watch this movie with remorse.
I gotta
Sadly,
give it a thumbs down. I gotta give it a
thumbs
thumbs
down for
down.
me too. This is just not. Like,
Yeah.
I feel sorry for anyone if this was your first Tom Clancy Ryan verse
Oh
movie.
Lord, if this was your first one, oh
Like,
my
this would
God.
turn you off entirely from the
Or
franchise.
if Shadow Recruit was your first one and this was the second one that you saw, then
And then you just say screw this. Like
no. I gotta tell you though, when they did the rainbow reveal, I was sitting there going in my chair. I was going like, no,
it'd be like
no.
it'd be like if your first Ghibli movie was Earwig and the Witch.
Ooh, ow, that is the worst. Yeah, you
Yeah,
definitely.
again, I said this, but I'm really glad we're not talking about multiple movies in an episode now, because if we did that earlier, I wouldn't have to talk about Earwig. Like, we could just focus on one movie at a time, like just or whatever it was. It just didn't have to be that one.
You know what movie I think that recently kind of pleasantly surprised me actually to turn this into a more positive podcast here. Was that movie with Tom Hanks, the News of the World movie.
News of the World, yeah, that was a good one.
Yeah, because that was like what was interesting about that was more of a heavy drama kind of thing, but it
Yeah, it was a
also but
yeah.
it's Paul Greengrass who was the director, so he knows how to stage an action sequence, so he did a
Yeah.
good job with that. I was really
Did,
surprised.
didn't you say you liked Let 'Em Go, that other western with Kevin Costner and Diane Lane?
I thought it was good. Yeah.
I liked it too. I loved the finale of that
Yeah.
one. It was a good acting piece. I
Yeah.
will say that.
Quite good, quite good. Um,
You're a
and
Western guy, I know.
well, I mean, not in the past, no, but like it seems like they're doing that really well. I mean, I don't know, maybe it was Firefly opened me up to westerns, even though that's a space western, but still western. And then Logan, of course, which is kind of a western, but with X-Men,
Yeah.
trappings. So yeah. Um, any positives you can think of for this movie other than like like well shot action sequences and stuff?
Michael B. Jordan.
Yeah, yep, he's
He's
good.
always he's always someone to look forward to when you're seeing a movie with him in
I
it.
I'd like to see him like, the one good thing about them making this more of a franchise kind of a thing is I'd like to see him in this type of role more,
Yeah.
rather than in a, like, a sanitized superhero thing, I'd rather see him do, like, a more hardcore like, if anything, what I would say for the sequel to this is just ratchet up the violence, make it more action-packed, just, stop with the dour, tone.
More one-liners.
A few more. It doesn't have to be, like, over the top. It doesn't have to be Commando, for God's sake, but it can be, like, just have a little bit more of a sense of humor, or
So
have a little bit of fun, have a
you
little
think
bit of
there should be a part where
badassery.
he's dangling a guy from a cliff? You know how I said I was going to kill you last? Yeah, you did say that. I lied. Just drops it.
And my favorite thing is, like, when he goes back and she goes, "What happened to Sully?" And he's like, "I let him go." That is just brilliant.
Or when he's in the plane and he kills the guy next to him
"Please
and he tells
excuse
the
my friend,
stewardess,
he's dead tired."
yeah.
I love that movie so much. I unabashedly love that movie.
But speaking of action movies that you like, are there any specific these Jack Ryan movies that you would like to discuss?
I would say, well, did you see the TV show? Did you see the
I
Amazon
haven't.
series? Okay, well, I liked the first season in that. Again, it wasn't like, it wasn't like super jokey or anything, but it had a very interesting like antagonist character who they gave actual depth to, and it was like well written, and it was just, yeah, I thought very well done. Um, so like, it wasn't like it stayed with that tone of like that serious tone, but it was also just better writing and just, I feel like it was a more interesting plot. It
Right.
wasn't just this whole like, let's manipulate Russia and the US into conflict thing.
Mm.
It wasn't just, basic Guy Pearce just coming on screen. You immediately know that he's the bad guy because he's Guy Pearce and he's playing a government official.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Uh,
So, and
what,
he's
what,
helping the guy. He's way too helpful. He's got like that Ares thing in Wonder Woman where he's so helpful that you just know he's bad.
yeah. Uh, what about the movie? Want to talk about say Hunt for Red October?
Yeah, it's been a while. It's been a hot minute, but yeah, sure. Let's talk about it because that's a really good movie.
Yeah, it's good. It's
One of Alec
Sean
Baldwin's
Connery
best.
absolutely steals the show in that.
Oh yeah, he's great.
Yeah.
He's great. I
One
love that
painful
thing
thing.
that they do.
Yeah. Oh,
Oh yeah,
who's underrated in that movie is Tim Curry.
yes, yes, I agree. I agree.
There's a part where they're being attacked and like they just found out the caterpillar that they use, I think, like, to keep it hidden from sonars, and like they find out that it's sir, it appears to have been sabotaged, and he said, who said anything about sabotage? And then Tim Curry just says, Captain. So he's
But
like,
you have those moments though. You have those moments in the film that are like, it's just I don't know if maybe modern audiences find them cheesy, but I mean, it's they're just
"Mm,
good performances and they're funny. There's just something about them. I
yeah.
just yeah. They're memorable.
Yeah, Sean Connery actually has he has some depth to him. Like
He's
he's
a
a
great
fascinating character.
actor. Dude, I love Sean Connery.
Yeah.
Yeah, totally. Yeah, he's awesome.
That was a hell of a cast that movie had. It also had
Yeah.
Alec Baldwin, Tim Curry, James Earl Jones,
Yes,
Sam
yes.
Neill,
Yep.
Joss Ackland. Hell of a cast.
It was, I think, the first, Jack Ryan
It
movie, was
was.
it? Yeah. Even though it wasn't, like, the first story in the novels of Jack Ryan, I think Some
Yeah,
of All
that's
Fears came before it
just
technically,
like
but
how Doctor No wasn't the first Bond novel that he ever
right.
wrote.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I like that thing that they do where, like, everybody's speaking, were they speaking, like, Russian?
Yeah, at first,
And
but
then,
then
like and then they do that close up of the guy, and then they
and then
just
his lips and then he just moved in English. That was
they just
weirdly
pull it back.
satisfying, actually.
That was yeah, I mean, that just told you everything that you needed to know, which
Yeah,
was that,
that
they're not
Yeah, so the
speaking.
actors didn't have to speak Russian.
Yeah,
The
yeah.
English speaking actors didn't have to speak Russian throughout the whole thing.
Can't imagine Sean Connery having to speak Russian through that whole
That's a
movie.
funny thing is that because his accent is so thick, you can't even. Like, it doesn't matter if you can hear a Russian accent or not. Because, like, that kind of speaking, that would just apply to any accent, really.
But I like the fact that they actually give you that moment to, like, kind of, configure that in your head and tryna,
Yeah.
try to, like, understand what they're doing.
I love when he gives that monologue about how he just wanted to become an American. He just like he talked about how he was at war for like 40 years, and like no
Mhm.
battles, no monuments, only casualties. And he talks about, I widowed her as soon as I left. She died. His wife died when he was at sea. Yeah,
It's a really good Sean Connery. I'm just
yeah,
laughing. I'm laughing because your impression is good.
yeah.
Um,
Thanks. Well,
but
thank you, Kiana. Thank you very much. Thank you
do you
very
remember a guy
much.
named Craig Ferguson? He used to do the Late Late Show.
I love Craig Ferguson. Yeah,
Remember he used to do that Sean Connery thing?
I think so. Yeah.
He did like Michael Caine in space, and then he did like Sean Connery.
Yes.
It's so freaking funny.
What?
Did you see a movie called Crimson Tide with Denzel Washington and Gene Hackman?
No.
It's almost similar to Hunt for Red October, except it's more like an action kind of thriller, like less of a spy thing and more of like straight up action. Because I think it was it a Michael Bay movie? Wait, hold on. Let me check
I
that.
don't think that doesn't sound like a Michael Bay. I don't think Michael Bay
I
would.
think it was a Bruckheimer movie, is what I'm thinking of. But like, yeah, let me see. Crimson Tide. Who directed this? It was Tony Scott who directed it, and then
Oh yeah,
it
that
was
that
Tony
sounds like
Scott
that sounds about right.
and Quentin Tarantino co-wrote the screenplay, which I did not know that. Holy crap, that's amazing. One of Hans Zimmer's best scores, in my opinion. I think he did a really good job on that one. And
Finally, something nice you had to say about Hans Zimmer.
yeah, I normally don't care for his music. Um, and everybody can hate me for that. That's fine. Um, but yeah, I know it was Bruckheimer who was a producer, and that's the thing. Like, I know Jerry Bruckheimer and Michael Bay used to like they would collaborate on a whole bunch of movies at that, in that period of time. But yeah, it's another Cold War, Russian sub breaks away, and then the American sub finds it, and then they start torpedoing each other as you do in the Cold War.
What
And
about
but yeah, there's a mutiny though. It's like it's Denzel Washington's character kind of leads a mutiny against Gene Hackman because Gene Hackman's so hardcore and he doesn't care about starting a war between the U.S. and Russia. It's basically the same plot in all these Cold War films, Cold War paranoia thrillers. But yeah, good
what about
movie.
Patriot Games? Was that a good one, you think?
Yes, yes, yeah. Patriot
It was
Games, really good.
it was much more personal, which that was kind of a downgrade for me. Like I liked
Mm-hmm.
it when they got more international. They got like the fact that the terrorists are part of the IRA. It doesn't factor that much into the movie's themes.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Like, one thing I don't get is that why was Sean Bean so? I get that he's doing it for revenge, but why was he so gung ho about killing this little girl?
I don't really know.
I know it's because Jack Ryan, played by Harrison Ford, he kills his brother who was also an IRA member, but
Mm-hmm.
I just feel kind of weird that he would spend this much have put this much energy on killing, you know, Jack Ryan's family.
Yeah, yeah, but they had to
But
keep
it's the stuff that really works. Like, I know I like the personal stakes. I like.
that the ending sequence where they're fighting on the boats and stuff
Yeah,
is pretty
Sean
cool.
Bean gets impaled by the anchor.
As you do.
Yeah. Um, One underrated part of the movie is when his daughter is in the hospital.
Mhm.
She's getting her spleen removed, and
Yeah.
he's reading her. What's interesting is while they're trying to, he and his team, like they're trying to find some information any information they could about the terrorists. Like he's
Mhm.
reading her The Cat in the Hat, and he said, "I sat there with Sally. We sat there, we two." And I said, "How we wish we had something to do." I liked how it kind of reflected what was going on. He said, "All we
Yeah.
could do was sit, 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 sit," and we did not like it, not one little bit. That was clever.
True. True.
Um, but what
Yeah.
about
That
Clear and
was really good.
Present Danger? Now that's a good one.
Clear Present Danger. That's probably my favorite. out
Yeah,
of all of them, honestly.
I
Other than
believe
Hunt for
it.
Red October. But yeah, I think Clear and Present Danger. It just has that sequence, that sequence where like the team moves in and everybody's watching them on like the night vision, the satellite with like all the
Yeah,
night vision stuff, and it just has that moment, which was one of the things they ripped off in X Men: The Last Stand. Which I mean, if you're gonna rip off anything, it might as well be that scene. But like, yeah, it's well, paid homage to, quote unquote. Um, but yeah, Clear and Present Danger for me is probably the best. Like, I really liked it in terms of the character development and everything, and just the plot was much better and more interesting than
yeah,
like Without Remorse.
yeah. The motivations, for the government, and the relationships they forged with these drug cartels. It was
Hmm.
interesting stuff.
Yeah, pretty good.
And you were talking about how you could tell right away from that guy Pierce was the bad guy without remorse.
Yes, yes.
Like when you hear Willem Dafoe actually playing John Clark in this one, you kind of assume he would be a bad guy, but no, he's
Yeah,
not.
he's not. Hmm.
It-
Yeah, that's the interesting
that was
thing.
refreshing. That was refreshing.
Exactly, because you can have an actor like Willem Dafoe who can pull off either a bad guy or a good guy, like he's believable as both. And it's like, not saying Guy Pearce isn't believable as a good guy. It's just that when he's playing a government, official in a Tom Clancy movie, and it's Guy Pearce, and he's being helpful to the hero, like he's giving him everything he needs, except for one thing, which was he said you'd have to go back into jail if you come back from this. But like, it's just so obvious that he's a bad guy. So obvious.
It's like Willem Dafoe. He's my favorite actor working right now for a reason.
I agree. I concur with that. Yeah. Yeah. He's great.
Yeah, especially like, doesn't he like help out the drug cartels in some
I
original?
think
Like he sneaks, like, he pretends that he's helpful, but then he blows up their shit.
yeah, because what he's doing is he's actually like manipulating events. So
Yeah,
that's pretty cool.
yeah.
Yeah. Did you ever see a movie? Speaking of Willem Dafoe, did you ever see this movie called Mississippi Burning?
No.
Okay, look that one up because I think you might like that movie. It's very heavy though. It's a heavy movie, but yeah, good movie. Um, Once again with Gene Hackman. Funnily enough, I'm
It all comes around to Gene
promoting these
Hackman.
movies with Gene Hackman all of a sudden. Um, but yeah, I would say Clear and Present Danger for me. That's a movie that I really want to revisit because it's just so. It
You
has so
should. It's a
much
good one.
going on. It's really worth it. It's worth
Yeah.
watching.
It's a good
Definitely
balance
better than
between
Without
personal
Remorse.
stakes and, like, more intrigue,
And the
more.
big stuff. Yes,
Yeah.
yes. The big stuff and the little stuff.
Yeah. What do you think? Do you remember Some of All Fears and Shadow Recruit in any way?
I vaguely remember Some of All Fears because it's been like 20 years since I saw it. But I remember it being okay. Like I wasn't in love with it, but I also didn't hate it. So for me, it was like above average, I would say. Above average to good. I don't remember Liev Schreiber in it too much. Like I know he's playing John Clark, but I don't remember his performance in it because I think he was just maybe an incidental character. But I do like Liev Schreiber as an actor, so I think he could pull it off.
What about Shadow Recruit?
Terrible.
But
Terrible.
okay, but
I
who do you
think
think is the best Jack Ryan? Alec Baldwin, Harrison Ford, Ben Affleck,
I was gonna
or
ask you that. I was gonna say who do you think is the most iconic one to you?
Harrison Ford? I'm still maybe Alec Baldwin. Was kind of what I default
It's
to.
kind of hard to say anybody other than Harrison Ford because he's the one who's had the most other than
Yeah,
yeah, other than why am I blanking on his name?
Ben
Jack
Affleck.
Ryan, the Jack Ryan guy in the TV series.
John Krasinski.
John Krasinski, thank you.
John Krasinski. I think he's probably the best one, actually.
I think he has the most material to work off of, but for
I
me,
think he's probably the more charismatic of all these
for,
actors.
for me and my 40-year-old heart, I'm gonna say Harrison Ford.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, maybe it's because less so with me because I think he's kind of overshadowed by The Fugitive. That's
Yeah,
what I.
well, he's had a lot of roles where he's played iconic characters like Han Solo, like Indiana Jones,
Yeah, I think
but yeah,
it's kind of in the mix between with all of those.
and also he was the one that I grew up with, so
Yeah, I think The
that's
Fugitive
the
might actually
factor.
be the best of these '90s action movies with him
I like
personally.
The Fugitive. I like
Yeah,
that
I like The
movie a
Fugitive. Yeah,
lot.
it's more about just a casual guy who just finds himself in the middle of all this shit.
There's that moment where he goes to Tommy Lee Jones catches him and tries almost corners him because he's in the
Yeah,
pipeline, and
yeah,
he goes, I didn't kill my wife, and he's like, I don't care. It
yeah.
just yeah, oof.
Tommy Lee Jones, man. How
Tommy
can
Lee
you go
Jones,
wrong with Tommy
man.
Lee Jones?
That guy is awesome. Um,
I also like a good action movie, a good kind of espionage, like a normal guy who finds himself in a lot of turmoil. Is North by Northwest. You seen that one?
yes,
That's
yes,
good. Cary Grant
absolutely.
and
Cary Grant.
Hitchcock, good stuff.
Yep, Cary Grant's a great actor, legend. Yeah, I mean, yeah, you could go down a whole list of like Hitchcock movies, like Cary Grant movies. Like you want to talk about like a paranoia sort of drama slash romance slash thriller, or mystery, I should say. It would be like Charade.
Mm.
It's a classic. Um, yeah, I mean, there's a lot of movies out there, man, that people could watch and just enjoy that, frankly, are better than Without Remorse. I can recommend them without remorse.
Mm. Mm.
Uh, yeah, I mean, okay, so we've talked about thrillers. We've talked about the Jack Ryan movies. Where would you rank this in terms of the Jack
I've
Ryan
only seen
movies,
the
or
first three
like
Jack
the
Ryan
Ryan
movies.
verse,
So far, this is dead
the
bottom,
Clancy
obvious.
verse? Let's say. I think Shadow Recruit is the one movie that I would put below this one.
Okay, so that's saying something then.
It's better than Shadow Recruit. I'll give it that. That movie
Shadow Crew
sucked
must be really fucking bad then.
so bad. I don't even like. I don't remember it because I think my brain just wiped it out.
How was Chris Pine though in that one?
Chris Pine is good. I mean, he's okay. It wasn't that. It was more like, for a Kenneth Branagh directed film, I just expected better.
Jesus, what's going on with Kenneth Branagh? Because with
He
this is
directed that, and he also was the villain, and he was a horrible villain in that.
like
No,
with
nothing.
this with this Artemis Fowl and Murder on the Orient Express, what is going on with Kenneth Branagh?
He should have just done Thor. Should have just done Thor 2 and
Just
Thor.
stick to those Hamlet movies, those
Stick to the
Shakespeare
Thor
movies,
movie.
man.
Just go back and do Shakespeare again, please, please. I don't know. I think maybe it's just it's a franchise thing, so maybe it's just work for hire for him. So they're not
Mhm.
as much. Yeah, but I mean, so was Thor, but he did a great job with Thor, I thought.
Yeah. We we are probably gonna have to talk about Death from the Nile
Yeah,
soon. Yeah,
probably.
when that comes out, we have to put up with Army Hammer being in that movie.
Oh Lord, Army Hammer.
Yeah, I was hoping I ended up more positive. Like we were starting to end this on more positive note, then I had to bring up the Army fucking Hammer. These whole podcasts are just roller coasters, man.
It's all right. Yeah. Um. Well, I mean, Jacob, we talk a lot about dramas, and we talk a lot about thrillers and that sort of thing, and a lot about like human interest stuff. Like, what are some of your favorite, just straight up like action movies? Like, have you seen any like really like the
I
old
love
school
Speed.
hardcore?
Speed, that's one of my favorites ever. Speed.
Speed is really good. Speed is
Yeah.
good. Yeah, I like that one a lot.
I like it when like it's more about casual people being put in danger, like the people Bus and Sandra Bullock. Like Dennis Hopper is such a memorable villain in that movie as
He's
well.
great. He is awesome in
Uh,
that movie.
yeah,
Love
God
him in it.
rest Dennis Hopper.
I know. Yeah, such a great actor.
Yeah.
Always good for a villain. Always good. I love my villain actors. What can I say? Um, do you ever see a movie called Replacement Killers?
I have not.
Okay, that is a solid shoot 'em up, like hard R action flick. Yeah, I love that movie a lot. And I know it went through some things with the studio and the director. It was directed by Antoine Fuqua.
There's there's a more recent one that just came out last month.
Okay,
Nobody with Bob Odenkirk.
I heard about it. I haven't seen it yet though.
You gotta see it, man. You would love it. Trust me.
Yeah, that sounds very, very good. I've seen reviews of it from trusted sources, and they all say that it's pretty damn solid. So yeah, I'm
It's
for that.
everything you want from the writer of the John Wick movies.
There you go. What about Taken, the first one? We don't talk
I've
about
seen
two and
that
three.
one. I've
We
seen
don't talk
that
about
one.
two and three. Let's just the first one.
Yeah, I've seen that one. That was good.
Yeah. That was a solid little movie. You know, when I first saw that in theaters, I was like, I didn't know quite what to expect. Like I was thinking, like, okay, this looks like modestly budgeted, sort of like, and then it turns out to be just like this really like it was pretty killer. It was awesome. There was a movie called Hard Boiled. It's a Hong Kong action movie directed by John Woo, and that is the best, in my opinion, the best action shoot 'em up like bloody mess dudes just dying everywhere movies I've ever seen. It is the best one of that type of genre. So if anybody out there needs to see like a really good action shoot 'em up film, in my opinion, the best one ever, Hard Boiled by John Woo, starring Chow Yun Fat. Great, great film. Um, what else? What else?
I do have some confession to make. The
What's up?
espionage, like this kind of genre,
Mhm.
isn't my particular favorite because it's one that really depends on how I feel, like what's on my mind right now. Because these espionage movies, they tend to require you to pay a lot of attention to what's going on.
They do,
But I know I'm able though to tell the difference between a good one and a bad one.
of course. Yeah.
Like
I
I
mean,
can look at it more in retrospect and go, okay, that was a good one. This is a bad one.
mhm. Yeah, I would recommend for you, definitely give Crimson Tide a watch. I think you might enjoy that one. What about The Rock? Did you ever see The Rock?
I have not. I do.
That is
I
okay.
know. I know mainly. I think that's like a Michael Bay movie that's in the Criterion collection that I don't hear film buffs complaining that much like they do
That
Armageddon.
that is my favorite Michael Bay film.
Yeah, I can
Yes.
imagine. I all I know is this one part where Nicolas Cage. Okay, you're gonna laugh at this one. Okay, Nicolas Cage. He tells Sean Connery, "I'll do my best," and then Sean Connery says, "Your best. Losers always whine about their best. Winners go home and fuck the
The
prom
Prom
queen."
Queen. Ah!
Winners go.
It's one
Yeah.
of my favorite lines. Oh my gosh, man. That is just yeah. I mean, that movie, it's
Sean Connery's voice
bonkers.
is so fucking fun to say. Fun to do.
Oh
I just.
yeah. That movie is so bonkers, but at the same time, it's also amazing.
It was also good. There was this other Sean Connery movie that was more of a drama. It was called Finding Forests.
Yes, Finding Forrester. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, that was a good. It's by Gus Van Sant. That's a
I've
decent one.
seen I've seen that movie. Yep,
Yeah.
multiple times. Very good. Um, yeah, there was The Rock. Okay, now I'm starting to think of like good action flicks. Face Off. Tell me you've seen Face Off. No?
No, I am
Okay.
so behind on this shit.
Okay. Okay. Well,
Okay,
I don't know if you're gonna be totally into that as much as I am, but
it's an
I
interesting premise.
that is another movie that I unabashedly love. I don't care if people hate it. I don't care if people think it's crazy. It's amazing, okay? Like that is also a John Woo movie, incidentally.
Hmm.
Um so yeah, I love that movie so much. It's so bonkers. It's so out there. It's crazy. I love it. Amazing. That moment where Nicolas Cage goes to the flight attendant and he goes like, "Let me ask you a question." See, he's like, "If I let you suck my tongue, would you be grateful?"
No, I gotta see it.
It's amazing. And of course, the flight attendant turns out to be one of the FBI agents sent to capture him.
Mhm.
It's yeah, that movie is awesome. It's awesome. Um I think they're gonna remake it too, and I think it's gonna be like Adam Wingard, the director of Godzilla versus Kong, who does it,
Oh,
who's gonna remake it. Good luck, man. Good luck. Okay, what else do we have from that era that I liked a lot? You know, I'm sorry for going on and on about action movies, just straight up action movies, but like Bloodsport. Have you ever seen that with Jean-Claude Van Damme?
I have not.
Oh my god, Bloodsport.
I'm gonna have to be fired from the
Bloodsport.
website, aren't I?
No, dude, no,
I
not at all,
know.
not at all.
I'm kidding. I'm kidding. I'm just.
I'm 40 years old, man. All this stuff came out when I was a kid. So anyway, so
Yeah,
it's
you
like
grew
good
up with the
memories and
good
stuff.
stuff.
Well, I got lucky because I got to see all these, like, like I miss action movies like these. I miss it because they were fun and they were like over the top and they were crazy. I mean, I know that like killing is not something we should make light of. I understand that. Like it's not, but to me, it's action flicks, man. You gotta have something. It's gotta be like, I don't know. Anyway, Bloodsport. It's basically this underground martial arts tournament that Jean Claude Van Damme enters, and it's supposedly based on the life of a man named Frank Dukes. I'm sure there's a lot of embellishment that happens with that movie, but it's very cool because they filmed it in like the city, the walled city in Kowloon in China. That was like it was like this tenement complex that stretched all the way up like a high rise, and basically like the people on the lower, like at the lower floors and stuff, it was so dark that it was almost like there was no sunlight. And
Interesting.
yeah, and it served as like the inspiration for the Blade Runner kind of aesthetic of like that cyberpunk, wires everywhere and like darkness sort of thing, dark future kind of thing. Um, but yeah, so they filmed Bloodsport there, or at least part of it there. It's not like the best acted movie, but it's definitely one of the. I think for me, I'll always have a soft spot for it. It's a good film. Geez, anything else we can think of? Die Hard,
Die Hard, yes. Or I was gonna scare.
best Christmas movie ever.
Did I almost scare you in a way? Like, did you honestly think I haven't seen Die Hard?
No, I figured you would see that one. Yeah,
Yes,
I had a
yes,
feeling.
I have.
Yeah, yeah, Die Hard is
The
awesome.
only the first one. I've only seen the first one.
Oh, you should check out Die Hard with a Vengeance. That was a good one too. The one with Samuel L. Jackson.
Hmm.
That was a good movie.
The Mad Max movies. I've seen
Mad
those.
Max, yes, Mad
I've seen
Max.
the first two, and I've seen Fury Road.
There
Good
you go.
shit.
There you go. There you
I'm
go.
excited for Furiosa.
Me too. Me too. I definitely want to see that. Oh, so you didn't see Thunderdome?
I have not seen Thunderdome.
Okay, I definitely. Yeah, I haven't seen that one either, honestly. So I have to go back and watch that because that's amazing. Just the very name is just awesome.
I'm like Brock. I have all the time in the world, yet I don't use it wisely.
um, Lethal Weapon. It's been a while since I've seen those, to be
Okay,
honest. It's been a
good.
while.
You don't leave me hanging, man.
What else do we have on that list? I guess that's about, yeah, that would be pretty much my recommendations for you and for our audience, just go check out some old action flicks and some old action thrillers
Yeah,
because
they were made in the
they're
good
well
old
worth
days.
they're well worth watching.
Yeah.
Yeah. My God, are the 80s the good old days now? Oh my God.
The 90s, more like,
Oh Lord. I saw this meme the other day which said that like now there's a lot of people who refer to the 90s as the end of the last century or something.
yeah.
Uh
No, that's fucking depressing, man. That's
the late 20th century.
the late 20s.
Oh my God, it's like he graduated in 99. That's the late 20th century. What's become of us? Why are we old? Why? All right, man. I guess that's it. Do you have anything else to add? Did you want to recommend anything this week? Anything
Nothing
you're watching?
specific. Nothing except maybe Nobody. Check that out.
Cool. Yep, nobody. That sounds good. Um, I guess, guys, if you want to see Without Remorse, have at it. It's on Amazon Prime. Uh,
Just
go forth
expect
and be
to
merry.
watch it with remorse.
Yeah. And thank Ubisoft for all those Rainbow Six Siege game numbers because I'm guessing that's probably why we have a Rainbow Six thing incoming. So, it's a popular brand now. Yeah, I mean, other than that, I would just say, I guess, I don't know, just yeah, just go check out all those movies, man. Go watch the old movies, quote unquote, and yeah, um, and just have fun because I tell you, look up John Woo if you guys haven't, because he's got some good ones. Better Tomorrow 2, The Killer, uh, Hard Boiled, like I said, that was really good. Yeah, good stuff. So, I guess that is it. That is our first episode of the Renegade Marquee, guys. Jacob, where can everybody find you online?
You can find me on Facebook and Twitter under Jacob Crable, Krehbiel. I also have a Letterboxd account, Streamin' Demon 12,
Nice.
and no, sorry, just Streamin' Demon, and yeah, find my reviews on there as well. I'm also part of the Renegade Pop Culture Facebook group.
Awesome. Yep. And that Facebook group is found at facebook.com/group/RPC42. You can go ahead and request a membership. I'm sorry, guys. I couldn't make it a public group that one time. I'd really tried to, but apparently, because, it's set to private, so we can't change it. But feel free, send us a request. We'll let you in. And, we can talk about all the stuff that we love talking about. Movies, games, whatever, what have you, animation, all good stuff. You can find me also handling the Renegade Pop Culture official pages, which are at Ren Pop Culture. That's Ren, not Stimpy. And other than that, guys, this is it. RenegadePopCulture.com also for all of your pop culture needs, all of your movie reviews, episodes of the podcast. Trying out something different with the show notes now. They're going to be a lot shorter. We're just going to focus on, basically, we'll just focus more on the podcast itself. So, guys don't have to read my rambles so much. You can just check out the podcast and see our thoughts on there. So, anyway, yeah, guys, thank you so much for joining us, and we will catch you guys later. Peace out.
Bye.